Good morning. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joy's House and presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We're just happy you're here. If you haven't joined us before, welcome. If you've been here a lot, welcome back. As you know, Caregiver Crossing is a podcast created just for you, the caregiver. I'm Tina McIntosh.
And I am Candace Hadaba. Good morning. Good morning. We have Christina Harden-Weiss in studio with us this morning. Oftentimes, caregivers must place their loved one in a long-term care facility because they simply don't have the equipment or the know-how to safely care for them in their home. And similarly, aging individuals may not be able to remain in their home because same reason, they don't have the equipment or the know how to care for themselves safely. So, good morning, Christina. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Well, in my case, it's the afternoon now.
Oh.
Right? Well, and okay, before we even start, I have to tell you, Candace, I met Christina and her partner, Cindy, at a conference not too long ago, and their energy sucks you in. I mean, they had a booth, and I do care what they had, but I could have cared less because I saw them and was like, I want to be their friend. And then I went in and saw that they are doing fantastic work. They're really smart women. They're just all of the things. And they're on TikTok. And you know how much I love TikTok. And they put me on a TikTok video.
Yeah.
And Christina said it did well.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
So, Christina, you are by trade a speech therapist, and a lot of that comes into the work that you're doing here. But before we talk too much about why that's important, can you tell us who Adaptive Equipment and Caregiving Corner, who is that? Who are you? What are you doing?
Sure. Yeah. So Cindy and I co-founded Adaptive Equipment Corner back in 2015 as a YouTube channel. We were both working in home health, and we started. That's about when we started taking computers in with us instead of doing the paperwork. Solely doing paperwork. And so we thought, we get the same question over and over again, and caregiver education is a part of our treatment. So not even just treating the patient, but also training their caregiver on how to provide safe care. So we thought, wouldn't it be interesting if we could just make these quick little videos that caregivers could watch over and over again? We'll put them on YouTube. And then what we did is we would go into somebody's house, we would do our treatment. And then if one of these questions came up, we would pull up this video and let them watch it on YouTube. So we just found that when we were in people's homes, of course, in therapy, in an aging, everybody wants to age in place. And so we thought, we were finding that a lot of the times our clients and their families weren't aware of what kind of adaptive equipment they could use that would make their caregiver journey safer, or would allow their loved one to age in place in their home like they wanted to do in the first place. So we try to kind of circle around, make our videos around adaptive equipment. Plus, we're also kind of adaptive equipment geeks. We call ourselves therapy nerds. So so that just kind of worked out well. So then in 2018, we started getting some traction on our videos on YouTube. We created a website. We created a platform where we could house our premium content, so you wouldn't have to watch commercials all around our face while we were trying to tell people how to provide safe care. And then we went live in January 2020, and then March COVID, we all went into quarantine, right? So. So that's kind of how that's kind of that progression. And so, what we do now with our YouTube channel is, so we're kind of content creators. We kind of figured that out last year.
Well, you're influencers. I mean, you're really influencers, which I know for our generation feels weird, right? Like, I'm a what? Yeah. But you are an influencer. Yeah. And so a thought came to my mind as you were talking, and it's big stuff. I get that. You've got the big adaptive stuff, but it's also the smaller things. So Candace, question for you, and I have my own answer in my head. What do you think is one of the biggest requests or watches they have for a simple product?
Simple product. If not undergarments, then I would say utensils.
Okay, I've got two then. One, I think, is opening jars. And two is tying shoes. So, Christina, are we right about any of these things?
I'll tell you, I think you're right on the money. People don't realize it, especially the opening the jars with arthritis or some kind of disease process that has caused weakness in the hands. And it's hard to do those activities of daily living, especially in the kitchen, or if you've got a hobby that involves doing something with your hands. But opening jars is huge. We put out a poll on our YouTube community and asked about what part of dressing is most difficult for you? And putting on shoes was harder for people, for caregivers, they said, than putting on socks or pants or a shirt. That was the number
Really?
one answer, was putting on shoes, not even socks, which you think putting on socks would be really hard. But yeah,
I have questions.
dressing,
I have questions
yeah,
about that.
okay.
Like in my head, I'm like, well, I'm with you. Like you would think that putting on socks would be hard or
Yeah,
interesting.
or
What
compression
questions,
holds.
Candace, do you have?
Yeah.
If I'm a caregiver and I'm bringing my loved one home and I call
Mhm.
you for help, where do we start?
Mhm.
What questions should I
Yeah.
prepare for you going into that call, and how would you go about helping me?
That's a great question. So we have our premium content, which is over 200 videos on our subscription page. So it's a subscription business model. Caregivers can subscribe to those videos and have access to them for $10 a month, and you can cancel at any time. What we usually say is, my first question to you, Candace, would be, how soon are you bringing your loved one home? So is this a kind of an expected hospital stay or an unexpected hospital stay? We get lots of people that say, the hospital called me and they want me to come pick mom up tomorrow and I'm not ready. Right. So what we do is we've created so within our library of videos, we have a home safety toolkit, which is this checklist that the caregiver could take through their house, check things off, and then take it to the hospital, to the social worker, and say, these are the things I'd like help getting ready to bring my loved one home. But if you don't have the luxury of having a couple of weeks prior to, we have a quick start guide. It's kind of the same thing. So let's say on TikTok, we've got a Linktree link in our bio. We actually give that away. The top 3 areas. If you do nothing more, please check these 3 areas. And that is the toilet height. Make sure your loved one can get off the toilet. Make sure your loved one can get out of their comfy chair, because sometimes those comfy chairs are a little too comfy and they get swallowed up and they can't get out. And then check the bed height. Man, we all sleep like Princess and the Pea, right? We got like mattress on top of mattress, and you pretty much have to have a pole vault stick to get up into some of these beds and stuff. So address those 3 areas. And then, and so what we're wanting to do is make sure that that transition from the healthcare facility back to home is going to be a successful one, because nobody wants to have to readmit their loved one back into the hospital. Your loved one doesn't, right? They're happy just to be back home. The hospital certainly doesn't want you to be readmitted, especially within 30 days of your discharge. And then you, as the caregiver, you don't want to have to go through all that again. So, go to our link tree. I think you can even go on our services page at aecorner.com on services. Scroll down to the bottom, and we actually have that PDF listed on our services page, so you don't have to do too much clicking. But download that. Be proactive. That's our big thing. Be proactive, because it can make all the difference in the world for everybody involved.
Excellent. Before we take a break, I want to reiterate the top 3 areas that you said. You said make sure the toilet height is right. And I'm going to tell you, as somebody who on a hike on a beautiful fall day shattered my ankle and had to have it, surgically repaired and all the hardware, going to the bathroom was one of the scariest things for me. I could get down, I couldn't
Yes.
get up. And so I can't imagine that being, for life. And so I'm with you. Making sure somebody has what they need from a toilet perspective is really important. And then you said number 2, that comfy chair might be comfy, but it might be hard to get out of.
Yep.
And 3, the bed height. And so
Correct.
excellent points. I mean, listen, you can give us that. You gave us that in, just a couple of minutes. I know what's on your YouTube page. It is worth every penny. So I hope people do go there. So again, aecorner.com. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Thank you. Today we are joined by Christina Harden-Weiss, speech therapist and co-founder of Adaptive Equipment and Caregiving Corner, aecorner.com. Thank you for joining us again, Christina.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so earlier in the show, you said that you and your partner, Cindy, describe yourselves as a couple of therapy nerds,
Yeah.
helping caregivers understand how they can help their loved one maintain functional independence and dignity at home. I love that. Thank you for doing that. That's awesome.
It's our pleasure.
Caregivers often find themselves running up against the wall or unable to find legitimate information. You've got your YouTube page and your website. How else can caregivers get in touch with you?
Well, we're all over social media. So we're on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and LinkedIn. But I would say you could use any of your favorite social media, to reach out to us. we try to be responsive, and we get all kinds of questions, and we're just super excited to be able to share that information. So, find us on your favorite social media page. You could reach out to us on email. We've got an office phone. You could give us a call. We'd be happy, to try and help with your specific situation. Now, it's probably easier if, we might end up referring you to your local therapist, because they'll be able to lay hands on you, right? But yeah, any of those ways: YouTube, email, give us a call. Your favorite social media channel would be the easiest way
You guys are the cutest. I'm looking at you on TikTok right now, and I just love it. Like, how are you so smart and informative and adorable all at the same time? These are the best. I mean, first of all, you got the right audience. Candace and I are obsessed with TikTok. It's a problem. Like,
That's awesome.
Next time we jump on Caregiver Crossing, I'm afraid it's going to be an intervention for the two of us. So, I mean, I'm following you on TikTok, and I just love it. That's where I'm going to stay. So
it's really great, because each platform is different. We reach a different audience, and on TikTok, what we found is we're either reaching the individual with living with a disability, or we're reaching their caregiver. And the caregivers on TikTok tend to be more of those millennial caregivers, that sandwich generation. They've got an aging parent. They've got a child in school system still, and so they're kind of sandwiched right there in the middle. And so we get a lot of those, and people just want to know, what can they do to make their caregiving journey easier, or what can they do to stay in their home safer. Those are the biggest things that we get. And with adaptive equipment, you could buy just about anything on the internet, right? But just because you can buy it doesn't mean you know how to use it safely. So now it's become a risk or a hazard.
Well, that's something else I want to throw in, is that what I learned when I met you at that booth at that conference is that people everywhere send you their products and say, hey, test this out. Hey, get the word out for this. And I love that you are there, and instantly you're trustworthy people. And so thank you for guiding folks in that way. So, safety is essential to being able to remain in our homes as we age. I think we all know that. And if you've been a caregiver or a caregiver, or you are the care recipient, you absolutely know that is the first thing, is safety. Christina, thank you for being here. Tell Cindy that we said hello, and thank you for sharing, everything that you do with caregivers. And so if folks want to go ahead and email you directly, what's the email address?
I would have them go to aecorner15@gmail.com.
Before we go, we want to point out a couple more things. Christina and Cindy do educational presentations regarding home safety to companies and organizations. So if there's anyone out there listening that wants to bring them into their organization to be an educational piece for their employees, feel free to reach out to them at aecorner.com or at email aecorner15@gmail.com. They also raise awareness of health equipment lending closets and area agencies on aging. You can find the lending closet directory available on their website, and that address again is aecorner.com.
Perfect. All right. Well, as we close the show, I just want to remind you listeners that you can contact me at any time. We've got some big fun stuff coming up at Caregiver Crossing. So tell your friends we're here, and we'll bring y'all on a journey with us, because things are happening. So, but again, you can email me, tina@joyshouse.org. Thanks to Joy's House, by the way, for letting us do this program. We've been doing it for a long time. Candace,
a long time.
Long time. All right. And before we go, I know, Candace, you want to thank our sponsor?
I do. Before we go, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Cardon and Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, and managed in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience, Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized care. All right, that's it for us. Until next time, take good care of each other.